Hello, good morning. Benny, would you like to say hello too? You're in a mood this morning. Benny's in a mood this morning. He's having to say hello to everyone. Good morning to everyone. Everyone. Good morning to everyone. Oh, Baguette. Oh, Baguette. Oh my goodness, she's so chunky. She's a chunky monkey. She's going to the vet today. She's going to the vet today. Just for her checkup. Anyway, I've got 3 new romance releases from the library. So we have a time limit as well. And I figured I would do a little romance reading vlog. So the first one that I started last night is the Au Pair Affair by Tessa Bailey. Now, I have a storied past with Tessa Bailey. I either really like her books or really hate them. And this is the second in the Big Shots series. Is that what it's called? I think so. I think it's the Big Shots. Yeah, Big Shots. And basically, we're dealing with a professional hockey player and a grad student who are the best friends of the couple in the Fangirl book by Tessa Bailey, which I thought was aggressively fine. It was okay. Like, I liked it, but there was, like, nothing special. Maybe it's just because it was about golf, and I think golf is about as boring as you can get. No offense to people that like golf, but I think it is a huge waste of water and other resources. That's a whole nother argument. But basically, I'm 40 pages in, and so far I am not loving it, but like, we're here. Basically, so far what's happened is they're both in Boston. He plays professionally in Boston, and she's going to grad school in Boston. And he offers her a place to stay. He said, you can stay at my house and be the live-in nanny for my 12-year-old daughter, because he's a clueless single dad. And when we open, and they made this deal a long time ago during the Fangirl book. Mary's outside cleaning the grill at 7 a.m. because it's been aggressively hot, and this is the only time she thought the weather would be good enough to do it. And so the dogs are just standing at the door quietly crying because they want to be let out, and it's not going to happen. But so if you hear some quiet cries, that's them. They're fine. But okay, so back to this. We open with our main character, whatever the heck her name is, Tallulah, at a smoothie shop across the street from Burgess, that's his name, his apartment, and she's like, I can't do this, he's this violent hockey player, I can't live with him because men are scary, which totally fair. And then he comes into the smoothie shop because it's across the street from his apartment, why else would he be there? And she's like, I can't live with you, I'm gonna just find another place to rent. And he sends her to a fellow teammate's sister's apartment because she needs a roommate. And Tallulah's budget is like non-existent. It's like $700 for Boston, which is nothing. And he like makes a deal with the teammate and is like, let her pay $700, I'll pay the difference. But she finds out very quickly because, you know, and so she goes back to his apartment, and when she gets there, the daughter is having a crisis because the dad can't braid her hair, so Tallulah braids her hair. Basically, in the first 40 pages, we have like been in this deal, backed out of this deal, we're working our way back towards the deal. Tallulah's also been staying in a hotel the last few days, which, like, I don't know how she can afford that. If she can only afford $700 in rent, probably blew through that in, like, 2 days. But basically, she's going to end up living there. Like, we know that's going to happen. So, I have, like, a lot of feelings when it comes to nanny romances in general. I don't like them. I don't love romances that have, like, that power dynamic in a way, you know, like, I don't like teacher romances, professor romances, nannies, boss and, you know, superior and inferior employees. Like, any type of romance like that, I just think it's not something that I personally want to read about. I don't love the power dynamics. I just think it's not like a fantasy of mine, in a way that I know it can be for like other people. So I do like that they have like this relationship established beforehand, but I think it is going to be like very touch and go with me based on the power dynamics in the relationship. Also, he's quite a bit older than her. He's in his 30s. She's like 26. So it's not like an age gap, but there is like a difference in age. But yeah, and I think, I don't know. I feel like this first 40 pages was honestly kind of painful to read. Just like the writing of it. But like I said, Tessa Bailey, either she hits for me or she doesn't. This is kind of feeling maybe like it won't be a hit for me, but like I'm giving it its fair chance. I know it sounds like I'm not, but like I am. Like I'm gonna show you a part of this. Like the writing is insane. Hold on, I'll find it. Nor could she ignore shoulders thick enough with muscle to seat a couple of baby walruses. What? Hello everyone. It's Friday evening. I just got home from work, but I wanted to give you a little update on the Au Pair Affair. This book is wild, and not necessarily in a good way. So I think maybe, as I discussed at the previous clip, Tallulah, our main character, she was like hinting that she had maybe some trauma with men, didn't really trust men, which like, fair girl, you shouldn't trust men. But we learned what her trauma was from. So it kind of, made it seem like maybe she'd been sexually assaulted in college or something like that. Okay, I was not expecting what happened to her, and it came so far out of left field. It was wild. This girl in college, her like high school on-again off-again boyfriend was stalking her, moved to the apartment like next to hers her senior year out of nowhere, and then like literally kidnapped her and kept her in his closet for a little bit. And first of all, what? Not expecting that. Totally out of left field. And also just like, what in the world? Like, I'm not saying that doesn't happen to people, but I feel like it's just a little bit too extreme to feel at place in a book like this, and a little goofy contemporary romance. It feels a little too extreme. It feels a little Colleen Hoover-esque, a little too much. I don't know. So I'm still kind of feeling like this might be a Tessa Bailey that I don't love, but I'm 100 pages in. I'm going to keep going. I'll update you in maybe another 50 pages or so. But I just really need to talk about the fact that this girl's trauma comes from the fact that she was kidnapped and kept in some guy's closet for a few days. Like, that's crazy. That's insane. Did not enjoy. Didn't like that. And also, we're learning this on like page 70. And it's just kind of like sprinkled in there. So weird. Anyway, I don't know. One of my problems I feel like with Tessa Bailey's characters is I feel like they're so into each other physically that's like all there is. Like whenever one of the characters, specifically the male characters in her book, sometimes they'll talk or think about, I guess, the main female character, and they'll just be so overly into her body and can only think about sex every time they look at them, think about them. And I'm just like, first of all, you're a grown man. Ew. Like, and maybe that is how grown men think, but I don't want to read about it. Like, I want my men in my romance books to be like thinking, like, if they're going to be thinking about the main character, I want them to be thinking about how funny and kind and like great she is at blah 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 blah, not just that her ass looks good. And Tessa Bailey likes to focus on the fact that her ass looks good, and I think we just don't really mesh that way when she's writing her men to be more of like the brawny guys. I think she just goes too far. I think she goes too far in not giving them a personality besides the fact that they are manly and like the female main character because she's hot. I don't love that. I don't love that. Anyway, so yeah, just got home from work. I think Mary and I are gonna go to Target tonight, get some food. I think we're gonna have a little grill out tomorrow for Labor Day weekend. So yeah, I'll update you in a little bit. If there's some egregious writing, I'll let you know as well, because sometimes that happens. But yeah, I'll talk to you later. Hello, it is Sunday now. We had people over, so I didn't really vlog at all. I didn't vlog at all yesterday, but I did keep reading a little bit. I slowed down my reading a lot though, because I hate this book. I hate this. I'm officially DNFing this at page 178. This is so bad. I know I've already talked about some of my issues with this book already. Also, pardon my hair, I like just got out of the shower. But it didn't get better. I don't like it. The characters don't make any sense to me. They don't click. They just have an attraction to each other that I find gross, and the writing is bad, and Tessa Bailey's really living up to her pattern with me, where I like one, hate the next one. So yeah, I liked Fangirl Down. I thought it was fine. I don't know if you can hear Benny drinking water. I'm so sorry if you can, but then this is like bad. Also, I don't know if she's setting up a couple for a new book, or if we were gonna get the resolution to them in this book, but there's these two side characters, Chloe and Sig, that we keep getting like hints, glimpses at, that they have a weird relationship. And yeah, they have a weird relationship because they're about to be step siblings, but there's like something there, or maybe something happened in the past, or I don't know. So I hope she's not setting up for a step sibling romance, because that would be gross. That's gross. And I don't think we should be doing that. I get it's not, like sibling, which is even worse, but what's happening? So hopefully that gets resolved in here, but I'm not going to read about it, and I'm definitely not going to pick it up. So that's that. Right now I'm going to head to Baltimore to go visit a friend, and then I will probably pick up the, forgetting the name of it right now, but the one that's like Ember is in the name, The World According to Ember, or something like that. I'll pick that one up tonight, and I really don't know much about it. I know that its two main characters are Native American, and one of them, I think, lies and says that they aren't Native American to get a job because they think that will help. And then they work together. It's like a workplace romance, which I liked in the past, so we'll see. I'm hoping it can't be worse than this, guys. It cannot be worse than this. So yeah, I will update you on that book probably later tonight, maybe tomorrow, when I get to about the 50-page mark. I think that's when I get a good feel of how we're going. So yeah, one down, not a success, an epic fail in my books. Hello, welcome back. I am just about 50 pages into The Truth According to Ember, and I'm having a really good time so far. I didn't give you the synopsis earlier because I didn't know the synopsis. I knew it at one point, and then I totally forgot by the time I jumped into it. So basically, we have our main character, Ember, and she lives in Oklahoma, in like the suburbs of Oklahoma City, and she is Native American or half Native American, and she determines that the reason she's not getting interviews for jobs is because she's indigenous and everyone's racist, which honestly could be. So she decides to hit white on her job applications, and she ends up getting called in for an interview for an assistant accounting position at this like tech startup. And she's waiting in a coffee shop across the street because she's like super early for her interview, and she has like a very classic meet cute run into each other in the line at the coffee shop. He saves her from falling with this man, with Dan, who ends up working, he's in IT at the company that she gets hired at, this tech startup. And they have like a very instant connection, like very classic rom-com, just like ready. Lena's making cookies and she's trying very, very hard to like be quiet. It's very endearing. Anyway, so, but I guess the company has like a very strict like no dating coworkers policy, so they're kind of gonna start seeing each other on the down low. But I don't know, I really like Ember so far. I feel like she's like the perfect female protagonist for someone my age. Like the things she says, I'm like, oh, I've totally said that. Like she talks about how she's an accountant, but like a real accountant, not an accountant on TikTok. And I was like, oh yeah. And so I wonder if people who are like a little bit younger, a little bit older than like 26 might not like it as much. But I find her very, very relatable. But maybe that's because I'm also from the Midwest. Like I'm from Missouri, which is basically Oklahoma. So I get it. I understand her. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. And so now Lena and I are going to make some cookies, which means Lena's going to make cookies and I'm going to stand there and pretend to help. But they're going to be absolutely delicious. She's made this recipe before and I like really love it. And then I'm going to keep reading this afternoon, this evening. Hopefully going to get a good chunk of this in. And hopefully it keeps going as well as it is because I'm like really enjoying it. And especially after how bad the Tessa Bailey book was, this is like a nice reprieve from that. So that's what is on the docket for the rest of the day, and I'll show you the cookies when they come out because oh my goodness, they're gonna be incredible. Okay, bye. It's been a few hours, and I've reached a little over page 100 in this, and oh my gosh, I'm still really loving it. Our two main characters, Ember and Dan, there's been a few like little moments between them which have been really cute. They went to a bar and they like almost kissed but got interrupted, and Ember got like a promotion kind of. It's temporary, but she I don't know, it's really exciting. And a work trip is about to come up, so I think there's going to be some things happening there. But yeah, not really much more to report on in this book besides just that I'm still really enjoying it. And the workplace dynamics are very familiar but like fun. And I'm excited to see how she does in her new role at work with more responsibility. And I'm excited to see when her and Dan finally get together and what happens there. That's always where the fun stuff starts to happen. Anyway, so that's that. Okay, it's the next day. Got home from work, changed my clothes. I went grocery shopping on the way home. I'm gonna make like a broccoli cauliflower casserole-esque dish tonight. Cause it's getting colder, it's getting more fall time. So I just like, my Midwest heart just needs casseroles. Casseroles and soups, that's what I live off of. Anyway, I was going to update you guys at page like 150, but I'm on like page 256. I could not stop. I am having such a good time with this book. They got together. It was so cute. I was giggling. I was kicking my feet. I was squealing. I was showing my roommate passages because they were so fun. I needed everyone to see them. That type of thing. Ember, our main character, is kind of being blackmailed. That's not a spoiler. That's on the synopsis on the back. And I love Ember, but sometimes she does irritate me in a way that I don't mind because it's very like normal, I feel like. For example, like she's doing things that I would never do, but that I can see someone I know do it, right? So sometimes when characters in books act a certain way, I'm like, oh my god, that's so annoying because no one would ever do that. But I feel like Ember is doing things, and while I would never do them, I can see how someone would, you know? So she's kind of acting a little dumb, a little naive, but like, it's okay, she's learning. So I definitely want to finish that tonight. Went to the library on the way home from work because it's right by work, and I dropped off The Au Pair Affair because, as we know, not a success, and then my hold for Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto was in, so I'm hoping to get to read this, start it probably tomorrow, and hopefully get that one in this vlog too, do like a 3-book little vlog. And the other thing that's exciting in this little romance vlog, why are you not focusing, is my after light came in, so we can do a little haul. I think this is August. And the book is The Pairing by Casey McQuiston, and it is the August book. I actually have another copy of this book because Casey McQuiston was at the Library of Congress National Book Fest, which was like 2 weeks ago, I think, at this point. And I knew that they were going to be there, and I wanted to get this signed by them. Because sometimes authors can be a bit weird. Not like weird, but they really only want to sign the book that they're actively promoting. So they were signing 2 books. So I took The Pairing and then a copy of Red, White, Royal Blue. But we have art, character art. I love character art because I can never imagine what people look like. So I love when they tell me. Love when they tell me what they look like. So that's really cute. There's a letter on the back from Casey McQuiston themselves. So that's great. And then here it is. Let's get it out of the bubble wrap. This is quite a different cover to the original cover, which I will insert somewhere. But this is very different. I kind of like that all of the Afterlight books kind of match. I feel like they have very similar vibes to each other, so they look very nice together. I feel like the art style, everything is like pretty consistent among them. So here's the front, and it goes into the back. I know that they are food critics or wine people. They're in the food world, and they're in Europe. So, just what the inside looks like. There's Casey McQuiston. Honestly, the coolest person in the entire world. They have super cool tattoos. That's all I could look at when I met them. I was just like, your tattoos are incredible. Here it is naked. I love that it looks like a little scrapbook. That's so cool. Because they're like traveling all around. And look at these edges. They're like a city map. That's so cute. We got end paper art on a train. Oh, ooh, a little call me by your name action in that Italian city street. Anyway, I'm really excited for this. I probably actually will read the other version I have, just because I find that, oh, and this one is also signed by Casey McQuiston. Just because I find that the Afterlight books, and kind of like with all Limerick books, are honestly just like British. I feel like a lot of British hardbacks in general are very stiff, whereas the version I have, the American version, is a paperback, and I prefer that. I think it's just like a little bit easier. Ooh, goodness! It is struggling right now. I must have hit something because I feel like it's not usually like this. Anyway, so yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited for that. Okay, I'm gonna go read for a little bit, then probably make dinner, and yeah, I'm just gonna vibe. Hello. It's the next day and we're home from work. Changed my clothes, getting cozy, comfy for the rest of the day. It's pretty nice out. It's about 80 degrees right now, a little warm, but this morning was like nice and cool. It was chef's kiss. Fall is here. So 2 things. 1, I finished The Truth According to Ember last night, but I was too tired to update. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. But guys, I loved it. I thought this was so good. I gave this 5 stars. And yes, I think this is her, the author, Danica Nava. It's her first published work, which I think you can kind of tell in some ways. but I thought I had such a good time that, you know, it's getting a vibe 5 stars. I thought it was really great. The third act breakup, listen, it felt real. It felt realistic, and I wasn't annoyed. I understood why it happened. The conflict felt very natural. As a story progression, it felt like very natural consequences. It wasn't miscommunication, which I hate. You know, I know that romance, they always have that third act conflict. It's just the convention of the genre. And I think that it's pretty well established that everyone kind of hates miscommunication. But this was the better third act conflict, which was outside sources. Incredible. So good. 5 stars. I thought this was really fun. Quick read. I read it in like 2 days. I loved it. So that is that. I'm gonna take that back to the library probably tomorrow. And then I picked up from the library yesterday, and what I'm gonna start today is Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. So you know, time to read some Reylo fanfic. I really liked Julie Soto's first book, which is funny because when I picked it up, I wasn't expecting to like it. It was a, one, because I knew it was Reylo fanfic, and which I don't know why that is like, I have a chip on my shoulder about that, because 9 times out of 10 when I read published Reylo fanfic, I do like it. The only one I haven't liked was the Hurricane Wars, and to be fair, that was the only one that I read that was like fantasy, and that one felt way too, like not enough work had been done to separate it from Star Wars. It felt like Star Wars, they just changed the names, right? But all of the contemporary romances that I have read that are published Reylo fan fiction, that I find out usually after the fact, or even if I find out before the fact, I've loved. I've had a really good time. So, that being said, I'm excited to start this. It's about musicians. That's about all I know about it. One's like a classical musician, one is like a rock star, I guess. That's very exciting to me as an orchestra girly. I think that's going to be fun. I do, so I do peruse sometimes the romance book Reddit, and someone was talking about on there the other day that they are a professional musician and how wrong that Julie Soto got it. So thank God I'm not a professional musician, because that would be really annoying, because when I do read books that are about like people, you know, that do like my line of work, I am usually annoyed by it because I'm like, that's not right, that's not correct. So thank God I'm not a musician, so I can fully enjoy this. But I think I'm actually not going to start this right now. I think I'm going to maybe watch some Netflix and play some Switch until Lena gets home, and then I think we're going to go to Costco. So I'm just going to vibe for an hour or two, and probably start this when I get back later tonight. But yes, The Truth According to Ember, once again, a win, 5 out of 5. I loved it. I think it's a really good time. I do think it really focuses maybe a little bit more on Ember just as a character and growing up than necessarily the relationship, but it was a solid romance. I loved it. Amazing. Mwah. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye. Good morning. It's Monday. I think the last time I updated you guys was either Thursday or Friday. So it's been a whole weekend since I've talked to you guys. And I was in just a potato state the whole weekend. Friday night, Lena and I went to see Beetlejuice after work, which was really fun. A solid sequel. Lots of good laughs. It was funny, we were in a theater full of kids, or like families with like young kids, and I just think kids have like the best reactions to like Beetlejuice movies, with like those like goofy jump scares. So that was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Jenna Ortega did so good. Winona Ryder, as she's gotten older, reminds me so much of my aunt, and that was a little weird to see, because I just like couldn't stop thinking about my aunt. Anyway, So yeah, this weekend, so we did that, and then we played some Just Dance on Friday night, which was really fun. We haven't played that in so long. And then we woke up really sore on Saturday because we're not 12 years old anymore and playing Just Dance. We're like in our mid-20s, and some of those dances have some crazy jump squats and such. But you know, like, we were fairly productive this weekend, but I was just in a potato state. Couldn't see the world. The world could not see me. You know how it is. But I did manage to read all of Not Another Love Song. And I really liked it. Anyway, so I ended up giving it 4 stars. I really liked it. I do think that I come from a classical music-esque background, to an extent. I played in like orchestra and stuff in high school. So it's like I knew a bit about the world, and so I do think some of the things were a little outlandish, but like, hey, suspending all disbelief when it comes to romance books, like, if I didn't know anything about the world of classical music, I think that this would be very believable as a plot. One thing I will say is very funny is, like, we know that Julie Soto loves her some Reylo fanfic, and this is definitely a Reylo fanfic. And her other book was definitely a Reylo fanfic, and those characters pop up in this book as well, and it was kind of Reylo inception a little bit. I love Reylo fanfic and my Reylo fanfic. But no, I had a really good time. I really liked it. I thought that the relationship was a little insta-lovey for me. I feel like they were both just like obsessed with each other very early on, and then as soon as they started like seeing each other, they did that thing where they like didn't leave one of the characters' apartment for like weeks on end. And I don't like that, because I don't think that's like a healthy way to start a relationship. But I think that they ended up in a good place, and I think it did make sense the more we learned about them, that they had all this shared history together that they just like didn't realize that they had. So that being said, I really like Julie Soto's books. I mean, we're 2 for 2 right now. So I'm very excited to see what next she does. I think she's coming out with actually like a romantasy book. I don't know if that's next, or if there's another contemporary romance book that's coming out next. But I think I saw somewhere, I think on her Instagram, because I follow her on Instagram, she said something about a romantasy, which is really exciting, because I do like a good romantasy. But I'm very picky about them, and I feel like I need them to be vetted. Like, I'm not one to just pick up like a Kindle Unlimited romantasy until like a lot of people tell me that it's really good. So I'm excited to see a writer that I already like jump into that world, if that makes sense. Kind of like with Ali Hazelwood and Bride. The other thing I wanted to talk about, oh my goodness. Okay, so remember how earlier in this vlog, when I was reading the Au Pair Affair, which I did not like, I talked about how there was like 2 side characters that were kind of like orbiting around each other, and it kind of felt to me like Tessa Bailey was setting them up for their own book, and I was like, oh, and I hope that's not true. I hope that their story gets wrapped up in this book, because they are about to be step siblings. So I guess they have a one-night stand or something, and then they find out that their parents are getting married, so they're adults, so they didn't grow up together or anything, which I guess makes it a little bit better. But I was still like, I don't necessarily want to read that. I don't love that. And I hope that their story gets wrapped up and it doesn't become like their own book. Well, yesterday on Instagram, Tessa Bailey announced that they're getting their own book, and oh my goodness, I was like so upset about it. And like, it's fine, it's great, but I'm just like, do we really need like a step sibling romance? Not in my mind, you know? I just think that's not something we need. But here we are. Anyway, so to recap, the Au Pair Affair. Terrible. Didn't even finish it. Really bad. The Truth According to Ember, 5 stars. This was a fantastic book. And Not Another Love Song, 4 stars. Solid romance. Really enjoyed it. These need to go back to the library today. Let someone else get their hands on them. But yeah, I think that is all for me today, this week, this vlog. Don't know what we're gonna be reading next. Haven't figured that out. I can't plan for the life of me. It's usually just what the library tells me I'm reading next, because that's what comes in on hold. So sorry if you can hear Benny slurping down some water back there. Also, oh my goodness, the weather's been so nice. It's dropping down into like the 50s at night and like mid 70s during the day. So I have been outside all day. As soon as it goes below like 75, I am a sunflower. I am outside. So definitely we'll get some good fall cozy content coming soon. But yeah, you know, it's been really quiet this week with Mary out of town. She's the chaos of this household. So it's been really quiet without her. So sorry if you missed the chaos. Beckett, would you like to say goodbye to the people? She just ate breakfast, but she can say goodbye to the people. Yeah. Oh, here. You can get onto the table. Wow, close up. That's it for me for now. Who knows how long this will take me to edit. But I will talk to you guys later when I start a new vlog. Bye. Say goodbye.